In the dream, I feel a sense of purpose, a feeling that I'm walking towards something important. The path is worn, as if countless others have walked it before me. As I walk, the light from the setting sun gets dimmer, and the lighthouse beam becomes the main source of illumination. It cuts through the growing twilight, a beacon of certainty in the fading day. I can smell the pine from the forest and the damp earth beneath my feet. After what feels like a few minutes of walking, I arrive at a small, ancient-looking stone cottage. I don't know who lives there or what's inside, but I know with absolute certainty that I need to go in. My heart starts to beat a little faster, not with fear, but with anticipation. It feels like the culmination of a long journey. This is where the dream always gets interesting. I can feel the solidness of it, the history it holds. I just wake up, my heart pounding, with the image of that door seared into my mind. But after weeks and then months, it started to feel like more than just a dream. It started to feel like a message. I began to obsess over it. What did the cliff represent? The ocean, the lighthouse, and most importantly, what was behind that door? I started a dream journal, writing down every detail I could remember the moment I woke up. I wanted to see if there were any subtle changes, any new clues. But there never were. It was a perfect, unchanging loop. The same sights, the same sounds, the same feelings, and the same frustrating ending. I went down the rabbit hole of dream interpretation. Websites and books told me that oceans could represent the unconscious mind. Cliffs could signify a major decision or a risk, and a house often symbolizes the self. So, was I on the verge of some big personal discovery? Was I avoiding looking inside myself? The lighthouse, a beacon of guidance, seemed to be pointing the way. It was all very fascinating, but it didn't solve the core problem. I couldn't get through the door. It felt like my own subconscious was dangling a carrot in front of me, night after night, but refusing to let me have it. The frustration was real. It was like watching the best movie ever, but the projector breaks right before the final scene. The dream had become more than a curiosity. It was a personal quest. So I continued my reality checks, my journaling, my pre-sleep meditations. I visualized myself not just reaching the door, but turning the handle, pushing it open, and stepping inside. I tried to imagine what I would see, what I would feel, and then one night it happened. I was on the cliff path, the lighthouse beam sweeping over me. I saw the cottage up ahead, its warm light calling to me. But this time, something was different. I looked down at my hands, and I counted my fingers. There were 6 on my right hand. That was my trigger. That was my reality check. And in that instant, a jolt of electricity shot through me. I knew I was dreaming. A huge grin spread across my face. I was in the dream world, suddenly felt sharper, more vibrant. The colors of the sunset were more intense. The sound of the waves was clearer. I wasn't just a passenger anymore. I was in the driver's seat. I walked the rest of the way to the cottage with a newfound confidence. The anticipation was immense. I reached the door. My heart was pounding, but this time it was with pure, exhilarating excitement. I looked at the heavy wooden door, the one that had been a barrier for so long. I took a deep, steadying breath in the dream air. I didn't even bother to knock. I reached out, my hand steady, and I grabbed the cold iron handle. I turned it. There was a satisfyingly solid click, and the door swung open inward. I stepped across the threshold, out of the twilight and into the warm, golden light, and what I saw inside, it was not what I expected at all. It was simple. It was a small, cozy room with a crackling fireplace, a comfortable-looking armchair, and a table with a single, steaming cup of tea on it. And sitting in the armchair, smiling at me, was an older version of myself. He looked peaceful, content. He looked at me, raised his cup in a silent toast, and just nodded, as if to say, "You finally made it. Welcome home." And then, for the first time, I didn't wake up. I sat down, and the dream just continued. Since that night, I haven't had the dream again. It's like once I finally opened the door, its purpose was fulfilled. Maybe the whole point was never about what was inside the cottage, but about me finding the courage to open the door myself. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've ever had a recurring dream, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more adventures into the mind. See you next time.